Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into the Gordon Kirkman Gymnasium here on the campus of West Aurora High School, where this afternoon we're going to be covering some high school badminton here on the West Aurora Broadcast Network powered by Stream Sports Midwest. Hello, everyone. This is Eric Willowite. I will be bringing you the action, so to speak. This is a new venture for Stream Sports Midwest in terms of this is our first badminton match that we're going to be broadcasting. So as you can see, the way the courts are set up here, there's 4 courts on our near side. That's what we're going to be focusing on. The far side has the JV teams. We're not going to be able to get into the action there. We may zoom in a little bit just to kind of see what's going on if we have some breaks, but most of our action will be dedicated to the near side here as we go through and look at the matches that are in front of us. Now, this isn't going to be your traditional broadcast in which we'll focus specifically on one court because there's 4 courts in action on our near side as we go through. So we're going to be panning about. Consider it like in golf where they cut away to different golfers on different holes. That's kind of what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be cutting over to different courts on the near side to kind of bring you some of the action. We'll zoom in a little bit so you can see what's happening there. Go to the far courts, and then we have the near courts as well, as it looks like the match will be getting ready to start here shortly. So that's what we're going to be doing. I will be given some court information in terms of who's going to be playing on what court. They're going to bring that up to me shortly. So I'll try and call out what athletes are competing on which courts as best as I can based on the information you give me. But as I said, they don't wear jersey numbers in badminton, so I'm not going to be able to tell you specifically who is who. I'm totally reliant on the court information that's going to be assigned here. So the teams are meeting in a circle near the scorer's table. And they're going to kind of go over some of the ground rules. So I hear myself in my broadcast there. So that is what's taking place currently. And I want to thank West Aurora High School for having Stream Sports Midwest out for their athletic events. This will be the first of many, hopefully, we'll be able to do for West Aurora Athletics for the spring. And this is our first one that we're going to get to do. We were going to be doing some baseball and softball games, but we had some weather issues, as you may be aware, in the Chicago area. And then we had some conflicts on our end. So this is the first event that we're going to be able to broadcast. And again, it's cool because we've never done badminton before. So also, badminton doesn't get the kind of televised love that a lot of other sports get. So it's actually kind of cool that our first broadcast will be for badminton and get some of those players some exposure on our broadcast network here. Now fans filing into the bleachers behind us here. Lauren Reimars, the head coach for West Aurora Badminton. Had a chance to meet with her before the match. And then Diana Newkirk is the head coach for Geneva Badminton. So Geneva coming to West Aurora, the Vikings to take on the Blackhawks here in high school badminton. All right, so now the teams are moving to their court assignments here at the Gordon Kirkman Gymnasium here at West Aurora. Again, Eric Willowite with you here for Stream Sports Midwest. Zoom out there. So again, these are the 4 courts we're going to be focusing on, the 4 courts that are nearest to us. That will be our broadcast focus. The Geneva players will be on the far side of the near courts, and the home Blackhawks, West Aurora, will be on the near side, closest to us for the near side courts. Not exactly sure how it works from an official standpoint, if they have a floating officials here or the host school has to provide officials to call faults, things like that. So I see one person with a clipboard walking around here. I don't know if he's going to handle it for the just a little. That's fine. You're good there. Yeah, you're good there. Yeah, just a little. Sorry about that. No worries. No worries. So there you see the official conferring. Coach, I believe that's Coach Newkirk for Geneva. And again, no roster numbers here. Geneva players waiting for their counterparts to arrive. And here they come. Got to use all props necessary here. Appreciate it. No, you're good where you're at, so I can get the court action there. Filming and semi-commentary. You can't call badminton like, there's no roster numbers. I don't have like the court sheets yet, so I'll just be going back and forth between. Yeah. 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 No, it'll be fun though.
So far, I haven't seen a throwdown, so it's we're all good.
You haven't seen a what?
Throwdown.
All right, so teams going through warm-ups here. We are about 8 minutes after 4. Doubles will start things off first, so it'll be double matches to start things off. I do know that. There's a total of 5 double matches. Thank you. And then ten singles matches. I do have the West Aurora High School players and what courts they're going to be on. So the far court is going to be the number 1 doubles team. That's Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne. The second court here, Lilia Medina and Sophia Medina. A couple sisters pairing up there. In court 3, we'll have Sammy Einseidel and Sarah Ochoa Sanchez. And then in the far court, Avery Contreras and Giselle Coral. And then whichever court opens up first, the 5th pairing of Natalie Anderson and Jen Castillo will come out to complete the doubles matches. So that's the lineup for West Aurora here for our first pairing. I apologize to the Geneva folks. I don't have the Geneva pairings listed here, so I don't have their names. But if you're watching, you know who they are. as the teams continue to complete warm-ups here. So again, this is a new sport for Stream Sports Midwest to call. We spent the latter part of the last several months calling Northern Illinois Hockey League games. And we did several hockey games, youth hockey games across the Chicagoland area and some out of state. We were in Wisconsin and Indiana for some hockey games as well. But this is our first official broadcast for West Aurora for Stream Sports Midwest. And we'll have more events coming your way. I believe next Wednesday, I believe that's a baseball doubleheader that's on the docket, weather permitting, of course. And then there is a softball makeup next Friday that we were originally going to do. So we're going to look to broadcast that one, hopefully, next Friday, softball doubleheader for West Aurora. All right. Looks like we're getting ready to go here. We'll take a look at the second court here and zoom in a little bit. Take a look at the action. Those of you new to badminton, as I am, I mean, I've played backyard badminton before, but nothing at the competitive structured level. So the way it works is the server, as long as they maintain serve, they alternate serve boxes until they lose. So now you're seeing the front person serves. Good volley going on here, and a point for Geneva on that sequence. So then the server will change sides, and she'll serve from the opposite box. And as long as a team maintains serve, the server will continue to alternate to a different serve box. Now you can see the Geneva server is in the serve box to our right to start off that sequence. When you serve, and whether you're receiving or serving, both players, they have to have their feet on the ground. No one can be moving until the shuttle is served. So you kind of have to be stationary and wait for the birdie to come your way, as that one was hit out of the court. And again, there's not a scoreboard here, so we can't give you the score of a specific match. A lot of what I've been told is that the players have to kind of self-police due to that there really isn't a formal official for each court. So they kind of have to self-police in terms of faults, shuttles that go out of the court. Now for doubles, you use the full width of the court. So if you can see the double line here immediately between the two courts, that far line just to the left of the pole that's in between, that's the double width, and then on the other side as well. For singles, they use the interior line. So the interior line's for the singles, and then the exterior line is used for the doubles matches. So we'll pan over to our left for court one. And you can see, again, for court one, for doubles, that's Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne. And again, I don't have the court pairings for the Geneva crew, so for you Vikings fans, if you're watching, you know who your players are. And for the West Aurora faithful, we do have the listing for your doubles and singles court lineups. Shot into the net there by Geneva. So the Blackhawks will serve. That one, another point for West Aurora. And again, if you're not used to badminton, it's the person in the near box that serves, not the person in the back box. So if you're thinking like similar to volleyball, it's not similar to volleyball from a serve standpoint. So the person up front is the one who serves. And then once the serve happens, they take their place in each side of the court. And again, serve is alternated. As long as you maintain serve, you alternate between boxes. I believe when it's 0-0 or even score. So in other words, when the match is first starting out, you're serving from the right box. And then if you gain the serve, depending upon what your score is, if it's an even number, you're on the right side. If it's an odd number, you're on the left side. So that's how when you gain serve, that's what determines where you start out from. And then as long as you maintain serve, you continue to alternate between the left and right boxes. All right, that's probably enough serve talk that you need to know. Some of you watching probably already know this, but for those of you who don't, that's what it is. Google is wonderful. How about that? All right, let's go back to the second court here. So what we'll do for our purposes, we'll call this court 1 is to our far left. This is court 2. This will be court 3. And then court 4 will be to your far right. You're good. Let's take a peek at court 4. We'll zoom in a little bit. So it's first to 21. But you have to win by 2. Unless you're tied at 29, then you can win at 30. I believe that's the scoring rule. And then after each set, and it's best of 3, the teams would change sides. So it looks like in court 4, they're already completed a set there, if that's the case, because Geneva is now on the near side and West Aurora is on the far side. Can't tell you who won set 1, but looks like set 1 has already been completed over on the far court. Court 4, we'll call it for broadcast purposes. Guess I'll change the graphic here since we're already in action. Now we'll go back to court 3. Zoom back a little so you can see both players now. Sometimes they might get underneath that bar there, so I may not get them entirely from the back line. Nice little drop shot there for West Aurora, and they'll continue to serve here. And that one goes out from Geneva. Blackhawks will continue to serve. And again for West Aurora here in court 3, this is Sammy Einseidel and Sarah Ochoa Sanchez. That's the West Aurora pairing. And again, I do not have the pairings for Geneva, so I apologize, I don't have all that information. And it looks like West Aurora won the first set on court 3, so now both teams will change sides. Coach having a little powwow with their team. That's, I believe, Diana Newkirk, the head coach for Geneva Badminton, having a little powwow with her doubles team here on court 3. So we'll move over to court 2, check in on the action there. Court 2 for West Aurora. Again, that's Lilia Medina and Sophia Medina. And it looks like set 1 is now complete. And they will change sides. The action can go pretty quick here, as you can imagine. So now a little pause there. And now Lauren Reimar's had a little conversation with her team. And we'll move over, and then she's moved over to court 2 before set 2 begins for the Medina sisters. So we'll go over to court 1 now. Again, court 1, Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne for West Aurora. They must still be in set 1. I don't think they're in set 3 already. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I don't recall that side having already switched, which probably means it's probably a pretty closely contested match going on in court 1. And you can see the variety of shots, and usually on the serve, the first reception is usually a shot that loft that typically goes to the back line, and then that's when you begin to see the rally take place. And sometimes there's a deep serve instead of a drop serve. That one in the net. And the shuttle got stuck in the net there, had to be plucked out from the Geneva player. There you can see the difference. The previous serve was a loft, and then the subsequent serve on the Geneva side was more of a drop. So that's what the players have to be on the lookout for in terms of, you know, where that shuttle is going to go. Now, from a serve standpoint, though, you have to serve it to the opposite box. So it's more on a diagonal. You can't go straight across to the player straight across from you. You have to serve it. So if I'm in the left box, as you can see here, she's going to have to serve it to the right. And that point will go to Geneva. They're going to serve from their left. And you can see on that one was a deeper serve, more towards the back line. So person in the front corner had to go and retrieve that. And now when serve happens, they alternate. Fan on that one. That one served into the net, and looks like that's the end of the set. And now they're switching sides, so that must mean that West Aurora won, because that last point was a net fault. So West Aurora wins set 1 over on court 1. Again, that is Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne. Let's move over to court 2. We'll zoom out a little bit. Court 2. Lilia Medina and Sophia Medina, they're now in set 2 on court 2. I believe not 100% sure who won set 1 there. So that's going to be a little bit difficult to give you the up to moment on that. But we will show you the action here from court 2 for the doubles pairing here. Little drop serve there. Now, what I can't tell you is which Medina is which. So, again, they don't have jersey numbers. I can't tell you specifically who is who. I can tell you which pairing is on the court for West Aurora. At least that's a little more than I can give you for Geneva. But as far as who is who, do not have that. So you're just going to have to work through that. And as you can see, now the players are conferring here. We talked about, again, been told a lot of self-policing has to take place in terms of making sure who has served, what the point score is, so they know where they're serving from. So a little discussion there, and that's something that badminton players obviously are used to. So they have to do a lot of communication with themselves because they have to kind of do it themselves. They don't have officials standing at every court. This isn't like volleyball where you have the R1 and R2 situation, one up in the chair and one down. So it's all self-regulated for the most part. All right, let's move over to court 3 now. Check in on the action there as best as we can. Again, you're going to see a little bit of the bar there. We'll try and push that out a little bit. Court 3 for West Aurora. It looks like they're in set 2 as well. That will be Sammy Einseidel and Sarah Ochoa Sanchez for West Aurora, and they're on the far side. That one goes over the back line there. And it'll be served for West Aurora. That one pushed to the back line. Good rally here. That one falls short. Tough little play there as one of the West Aurora players kind of got her foot caught going for the ball on the far side there. So hopefully she's okay. Didn't gum up her knee. And again, having to wait for that ball to fall out. So continue to be served for West Aurora. So it looks like West Aurora in court 3 won their match 2-0. So again, that's Sammy Einsaddle and Sarah Ochoa Sanchez. So we'll await the fifth doubles pairing, and they'll go on to court 3. And while we're waiting for that, we'll push over to court 4 so you can see some of the action going on in court 4. Zoom in as best we can, but also make sure you can see the back line as best as you can too. So as you can see, there's 8 courts in action. On our near side is where varsity is playing, and then on the far side, that's where JV is playing. So we may zoom in a little bit just to catch some of the JV players, but for our predominant focus here will be for the varsity players. And in court 4 for West Aurora, that's Avery Contreras and Giselle Coral. Looks like they're now in set 3. And if they're in set 3, that means it's tied at 1. So 1 set apiece over on court 4, what you're looking at right now. And they're into set 3. All right, let's move over to the new match. Actually, they're in warm-ups there, so we won't move there. We'll stay back at court 4. And the goings on over there. So the 5th doubles pairing. They're completing warm-ups before they get going. And then Geneva will start on the far side. West Aurora will be on the near side. Here on court 4, Avery Contreras and Giselle Coral facing off against their counterparts for the Geneva Vikings in set 3 of their match. So they're tied up at 1. The other matches on court 1 and 2 are in set 2. And then court 3, we're awaiting for the 5th doubles pairing to start. They're completing warm-ups. So that's kind of a rundown of the action there, and it looks like court 4 is now complete. I did not see who the victors were there, although you might have caught that on film as I was looking over at the other court. So we'll move over to all right. And it looks like court 2 is now complete as well. I believe that's a West Aurora victory there. But don't hold me to that, folks. As we go back to court 1. They're in set 2 in court 1. West Aurora won set 1. And again, that's Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne on that court. Still doing warm-ups over in court 3. I don't know how long they have for warm-ups and who tells them to get going, but they're still warming up. So we'll stay on court 1 for now. Actually, while we have a moment, we'll give you a little wide overview of the action taking place in the far courts as well, so you can see where the JV squads are participating on the far courts. And back to varsity. All right, that's enough, JV. That's your 15 minutes of fame. Wait till you're in varsity. Looks like they're, oh no. So on warm-ups over in court 3, the players switch sides so they can get used to each side. So they warm up from both sides as well so they can get used to what the view is on each side of the court. You know, each gym is a little bit different in terms of what your background is, backdrop. So I saw the Geneva players switch side. I'm assuming the West Aurora players might have done the same during the warm-up. Well, I don't think West Aurora might do that too much. I mean, this is their home gym, but that might have been the case. And let's get a little shot here. The little Bambino. I'm not sure if that is coach's baby or not, but if so, getting some airtime here as she takes a peek in on the doubles match on court 1. And maybe a new badminton fan being groomed there. And now we'll go back to the match here on court 1. And again, I want to thank folks at West Aurora High School for having Stream Sports Midwest out for West Aurora Badminton. And again, it's kind of cool for our first event. We're getting to do badminton. That's a sport that Aaron and I, my partner, Aaron Schellen, we haven't done badminton before. I haven't seen, again, aside from backyard badminton variety in the as a ute, haven't really played or watched badminton from that standpoint. So it was kind of cool to not brush up, but kind of learn some of the rules that are involved here at the competitive level, and then get a chance to broadcast the events. Again, as we talked about, it's not a traditional broadcast. You know, we don't have jersey numbers. We have the West Aurora pairings for doubles and singles based on what court they're going to be in. But along with that, we don't know who is who on the West Aurora side. And for the Geneva side, we don't have the court pairing, so I don't know who is matched up there. So, and you don't have live stats like you kind of do at collegiate and professional events. So that's what's going on there. But court 1 in set 2 looks to be a pretty close match, though, again, because that one's been going on a while. West Aurora won set 1. And as you would imagine, those are the top pairings in doubles facing off against each other, so you would expect a competitive match. All right, now let's move over to set 3, or court 3, I should say. Court 3 is the 5th doubles pairing, and they are in action now. Now, it looks a little different. It looks like West Aurora started on the far side for this. Not exactly sure what that's all about, but it appears for set 1. I know they can't be in set 2 already. So it looks for set 1 for the 5th doubles pairing that Geneva starts out on the near side and West Aurora on the far side. And for West Aurora, that's Natalie Anderson and Jen Castillo. So those are the players in the 5th doubles match. And then I'm not exactly sure we have here. I don't know, because we have some of the singles players are starting to trickle in on the open courts. So that might be singles pairing 1. I don't know if they're warming up or this is actually the start of the competition. Both players, I'm assuming, already played in doubles. So I don't know if they have a warm-up for singles or if they just jump right into it. So in any event, it'll be a little bit mixed up in terms of who is on what court for singles, because as they come out, they're taking the vacated courts from the doubles matches. So I'm assuming whoever came out first, I don't know if it's court 2 or court 4, because we have another singles pairing going up on court 4. So either way, we know in court 2 and court 4 for West Aurora, that's Sammy Einseidel and Tessa Wallace. For the singles pairings, I couldn't tell you, though, who's on which court. Which one's on 2 and which one's on 4. So apologize for that. Just kind of have limited information in a broadcast like this, the way that badminton is presented. It's not ideal from a broadcast standpoint with multiple courts running at the same time. Now, if this was a single court event like a volleyball match, then obviously you'd be a little more dialed in, but things are spread out because they have to account for 5 doubles matches and then 5 singles matches, or actually 10 singles matches. So a lot of badminton coming your way here on Stream Sports Midwest. Again, this is Eric Willowhite. Thank you for joining us. And we'll go back over to the doubles match on court 1. We'll kind of see how things are going there. It looks like there's a stoppage as they try and figure out something there. Again, some of the self-regulating taking place there. It looks to be a discussion. Have no idea what the discussion is about, but they're trying to make sure they're correct from a point standpoint, from a serve standpoint. They might be discussing whether or not the shuttle was out or if it touched in. So, all right. So it looks like they agreed that it was complete. And if they don't switch sides, I believe that's going to mean that West Aurora won. Yeah, it appears that way. So it looks like West Aurora won on court 1 for doubles. So that, again, will be Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne. And actually, Tessa Wallace can't be playing singles right now because she was just finishing up doubles on court 1. So there you have it. But it looks like on court 1 for doubles, Wallace and Byrne defeat Geneva 2-0. So now we're back to play here. We got singles matches going on. And then as the doubles courts vacate, you're going to see more singles players come back on. I'll at least know in the third pairing. Well, no, I can't say that for certain because Tessa Wallace was still playing in the doubles match. That when she comes out for singles kind of has to be jumbled around because it looks like they already have at least the first pairing going, Sammy Einseidel. So won't know that for certain there. Singles match here on court 2. All right, actually, it looks like they may not be done in court 1 for doubles. So it looks like Geneva might have won set 2 because both doubles players are still out on court 1, looking like they're getting ready to commence set 3. So again, they had that long discussion at the end of set 2. They tapped rackets, and then there was a pause, and now they're moving over and switching sides. So Doubles pairing 1 is now moving into set 3, tied 1 set apiece. That much I do know. After that, it's anyone's ballgame. So they're waiting to get underway here. Let's go pan over to court 4 and take a look at the action there on court 4 in the singles set. All right. Seems to be some standing around with the doubles pairings on court 1 and then the same in court 3. Looks like set 1 might be over for West Aurora and Geneva on court 3 for the 5th doubles pairing. So now they're switching sides. Don't know who won that one. Maybe Geneva. They were given the secret handshake there. So we'll see. Don't know again because we're panning back and forth and we don't have scoreboards to look to. Let's take a look at some of the action in the 5th doubles pairing. And again, for West Aurora, doubles pairing is Natalie Anderson and Jen Castillo. All right, we're going to move over to court 1 where doubles pairing 1 is in set 3 now. We'll take a peek on the action there. We'll kind of stay locked in there for the moment. See who comes out the victors in set 3.
This one's 4. This one's 1.
Pardon me?
That one's 4. And this one's 1.
No, I know, but for me, I'm for my purposes. So.
I thought you were telling me.
No, not the official courts. It's more for the broadcast. That's court 1, 2, 3, 4. So thanks, though.
Yeah.
And into the net on that reception from Geneva. So West Aurora will continue on the serve. And kind of a knuckler over Geneva there. Your fan on it. You can see from the zoom there, when the player on the near side's in the deep, they're like just in the view of the railing there, but they can They'll go back in play, but most of the action will be within the frame of the camera there, as that's where the majority of the court is going to be. Now a little discussion. Okay, so now they're halfway through set 3. I think when the team hits 11, whichever team's leading at 11, the teams will switch sides for set 3. So that's what's happening here. So it appears that West Aurora, who is serving at the moment, is now up to 11. So both teams will change sides in the middle of set 3. So the first doubles pairing continues. With West Aurora currently leading. So we know they have 11 points. We'll kind of see. They do not know what Geneva has, but now they're going to gain a point on that fault. Both West Aurora players went for that one, and not a whole lot of time for communication on a doubles pairing like that. It just kind of, you trust your partner. At that time, they both kind of went for it, but someone had to make the call and return the volley. And that's what happened there. Well, if you need to get to the late bus, now's your time, as the announcement and the buzz for the late bus has been broadcast over the PA system here in the school, as opposed to the late bus, but the late bus is boarding now. I remember those times, although I never, based on where I live, I never had to take a bus ride. Whether in grade school, junior high, or high school, I was always in proximity of the school, although junior high was a little more of a trek, but still didn't need to take a bus. I was fortunate in that regard. It looks like West Aurora continues to excel here in set 3 in doubles pairing 1 over on court 1 to our left. And again, when we say court 1, it's just more from a broadcast standpoint. Courts 1 through 4 are actually across the way, and then this is 4, 5. This is 5, 6, 7, 8 on the near side from a gymnasium numbering standpoint, but from a broadcast standpoint, since we're focusing on varsity, court 1 is our far left court, and court 4 is our far right court. And the shuttle getting caught in the net. West Aurora will continue to serve. Again, for serving, as long as you maintain serve, you alternate the boxes you serve from. So you alternate from the right box to the left box. And Geneva kind of getting a little frustrated there in set 3. They need to get a point here. That one was close, but into the net and dropped on the Geneva side of the fence. So another point for West Aurora here in set 3 and doubles pairing 1. And there's the point for Geneva, as that serve fell short of the receiving box. And now a couple points in a row for Geneva in set 3. I can start to hear some of that communication on the Geneva side, both sides, in terms of calling for the play as West Aurora gains the point and will serve. And again, that'll be another service error, so point for Geneva. Push to the back line. Smash and point for West Aurora, and that's it. West Aurora doubles pairing wins set 3. And they win the match 2-1. So doubles pairing 1 for West Aurora. Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne close out the doubles competition. And actually, the 5th doubles pairing is already completed. So we're now just doing singles competitions from this point out. It looks like on court 3, where the 5th doubles pairing, they already completed out. Not sure who won that set, if that was Geneva or West Aurora, but either way, the 5th doubles pairing is already finished. And the first doubles pairing just finished with West Aurora winning that one 2-1 in a protracted battle. The combatants finally were able to determine a victor. So we'll take a look here on court 2 for some singles action. Again, because the doubles pairings don't end on time, the sheet I have for the singles pairings and who's on what court can't tell you, because that has to get jumbled around based on how the doubles match is finished. And some of the doubles players obviously are scheduled to play singles matches. And if in the case of Tessa Wallace and Holly Byrne, they were going to be singles players 2 and 3, but they played a protracted match, so they're not going to start their singles matches here for a little bit. So we'll focus on the current courts for singles play. And we'll go over to court 3, focus in on some of the action there. Of course, as soon as I do that, they have a set decided, and that's that. I believe they're getting ready to switch sides, or did they complete? Well, all right, well, not sure if they're continuing to play there on singles match. Looks like that one is completed, at least for now. Or they're getting ready to switch sides. I think they're getting ready to switch sides. Or not. Or maybe they don't switch sides. Not sure. Looks like one of the shuttlecocks might have exploded on impact there, so they're picking up the shrapnel from the court. I don't know if that was the reason for the timeout, but let's stay tuned on court 3 here for the current singles match, and as they resume play. Again, I don't know if this is a new set or if they took a break. They did not switch sides, though, but I don't know if they're supposed to be switching sides on singles like they do on doubles. I'm assuming they do, but I'll find out live. How's that, folks? That shot's out. And again, for singles matchup, I'm going to zoom in. When you're looking at the sides here, so there's the divider for the net. The far outside line, just to the right of the pole, is the doubles line, and then the one to the right of that is the singles line. So it's the internal lines for singles play and the external lines for doubles play. So since we're in a singles match, we're looking at the interior lines as your out of bounds markers. Now another net conversation there. Very chatty group here in court 3. Not a whole lot of trash talking going on in badminton, folks, so it's a very cordial game. Doesn't mean they don't want to win, but this is a non-contact sport. All right, so now West Aurora is going to serve. I want to show you something, though. When you serve, the shuttle has to be below the waistline level. So you can't serve the shuttle over the waistline. That would be an illegal serve. So that's where the shuttle needs to be hit upon serve. So if it's over the waistline, then that would be an illegal serve. As we move over to court 2. Court 2 singles play. As court 4 is currently vacant, court 1 now has a singles pairing taking place. So we'll pan over there in a little bit. We'll stay focused on court 1 for the moment. Again, you'll see the example of the serve below the waistline. That one went over the back line, so West Aurora will get the point and serve. Again, those, actually, name on the back of the drum. I'm just seeing that. Well, I know that's Tessa Wallace now because I can see a name. So I did not notice that until now. I think because she has her hair up in a bun, the other players' hair is draped over their name. So I can at least tell you who Tessa Wallace is. And she is competing in court 2. Court 1 might be, I'm not exactly sure who's in court 1 there. I don't know if they're sticking to the court assignments. I thought the singles started based on open court availability, so not exactly seeing that 100%. As that point will go to Geneva. And that one just over Wallace's reach, so another point for Geneva in the match taking place, the singles match on court 2. Smash attempt there into the net by Geneva, so point to the Blackhawks, and Wallace will now serve. Goes deep, and Geneva gets the point right back. And that one well out of bounds, so that is the completion of that set. Geneva wins what I believe to be set 1. Maybe. Don't know. This is a new experience for me, folks. I apologize. Gathering the lay of the land there I know Wallace is waiting for her coach. I believe that was set one. Now they're having a little conversation. Wallace and head coach Lauren Reimers. Well, let's move it back over to court one. We do have action in play. Singles matchup. Court two, it looks like they're moving into set two. That's my guess. And with Geneva winning set one, they'll get the serve for set two. We'll stay focused on court one for now. And you see with badminton, kind of a combination of sports, if you will, between tennis and volleyball. More so tennis. And the strategy is pretty similar in terms of getting your opponent moving back and forth and then the placement of your shot. So the serve to the serve receive line and then the return. Probably wanted to go a little bit deeper on that, but was unable to. So Geneva gets the serve. They push it deep. And then that's typically followed by a shorter shot. That one, though, went out of bounds by Geneva. So alternating between short and deep, getting your opponent moving on the other side, and especially when you're in serve, you're in command. And that was a nice drop shot by Geneva on that last sequence, putting it just over the net. And that was a dropped attempt by West Aurora that did not get over the net. So Geneva wins that set. And now they'll look to change sides. I believe they're now moving into set two over on court one. So a new set for court one. We'll push over to court four now and take a look at the singles match taking place there. And that looks like for court four, that's Avery Contreras for West Aurora on the near side against her opponent from Geneva, the Vikings. I'll try and catch the name on court one. That might be Ochoa for West Aurora on court one. I see her name partially. Or it may not be. They're waiting on court three. Not sure if they are finished. Or if they're now moving to set three or set two. Well, Contreras now over on the far side for this set. A lot of shrapnel on court 3. So I think that's Sophia Medina. No. Her jersey's all kind of tangled up there where her name is printed on the back. So, well, not going to speculate. Yeah, I think it is Sophia Medina here on court 3. And actually, now that I think about it, I might have had the pairings wrong for double. I was told that the number 1 double pairing was going to be to our left, but that might have been switched around, but I thought it was going to go the other way. So, if that was called wrong, I apologize. So that long set, that could have been Avery Contreras and Giselle Coral, the one that went to 3 sets. But that's if they were aligned differently. Again, I thought the number 1 doubles pairing was going from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. That may not be the case, in which case the singles pairings might all be bungled up too. So, but that's okay. So again, they have to take advantage of court availability as it happens. So things get switched around. They don't always go to script. So you have to allow for that. But again, as this isn't a traditional sport that you call from a play-by-play standpoint, just kind of follow the players' actions and watch some of the competition. Looks like the singles match on court 2 is now completed. That's Tessa Wallace. So her match is over. Not sure who is the victor there. And we'll go back over to court 1. That'll be the other Medina. So that's Lilia Medina in court 1. And Sophia Medina. And that would make more sense because they definitely look alike. So I think I had the wrong Medina pairing because I had the courts wrong. So my apologies to the Medina family if you're not here or if you're watching. Don't want to get a Medina family identification wrong. That's not good for Stream Sports Midwest. So Lilia Medina over on court 1 in her singles match. And Sophia Medina over here on court 3. We're waiting for the singles match to start up in court 2 as Tessa Wallace completed her match. And we'll move over to back to court 3. Again, Sophia Medina taking on her counterpart at Geneva. I believe is set 2. Not 100% sure, though, because, again, there was a long break that they had that I thought was related to an end of a set, but then they resumed play and stayed on the same sides. So it looks like Lilia Medina's set is now over in, or match is over on court 1. So now we have 2 active singles matches taking place right now. We have court 2 and court 3 in action. And we're getting ready to get additional singles matches going on courts 1 and 4. And again, 1 through 4 left to right from a broadcast standpoint. Bring it over to court 2. I don't know if this is just warm-ups. Feels like it's just warm-ups here. Yeah, no, this is just warm-ups. No one's going for any points there. So I was wondering why I had a little look of disinterest. Back to court 3. And again, this is a learning experience for me, folks. So bear with me as I get the lay of the land for badminton. There's probably badminton aficionados out there scoffing at my call, but that's okay. This is all in good fun and good opportunity, again, to promote the sport and promote West Aurora athletics. That's the whole point of what we do, is to promote athletic programs. We promote youth hockey, promote West Aurora athletics, and any of the teams that West Aurora will be competing against, they're part of the broadcast as well. So we appreciate the opportunity to bring these events to you. Sometimes you don't get to go out and see your kid or grandkid play or your friend, and this gets you an opportunity to watch the action from the comfort of wherever you're at. And we enjoy doing that. And again, we appreciate West Aurora allowing us to come out and broadcast their athletic program, starting with badminton here this evening from the Gordon Kirkman Gymnasium. A nice sized gymnasium at that, too. All right, so let's move over to court 2, where it looks like they're finally started singles play. So action taking place now on court 2. Court 1 looks like they're in action now as well. They're past the warm-up stage. And court 4 will be getting underway as well if they have not already. So back to court 3. And Sophia Medina. You can't hear them, but it looks like they call the set score when they serve. At least that's what I saw the Geneva player do. That one goes out. Point for Medina. Yep. Yeah, so the player is to call out the set score upon the serve. I think she said 20 to 14. That was. So that was set point right there, and I believe well, they're still debating, so it looks like they're tied at one set apiece, or are they walking off? Well, they're walking off, so that would mean that Geneva won in court 3, 2-0. That's my take on that, and I'm sticking with it. You can't tell me otherwise, so. All right, so court 3 is finished. Let's move over to court 1 for some more singles play. All right, so now I'm thoroughly confused because Tessa Wallace is back out playing singles play, so he had previously played. So it looks like I don't know if this is another match she's competing in singles or if this is a continuation of the match that they had. Not exactly sure what's transpired there, but I know this is the second time I'm seeing Tessa Wallace over in singles competition here. So, again, I don't know I can't recall if that's a different opponent than she was facing off with before on a different court. She was over here on court 2. Now she's on court 1. Oh, wait a minute. That could be because there's 2 Wallaces. I didn't catch that. Because there's a Kaylee Wallace, so I might have been watching Kaylee Wallace in the original set. So that all makes sense. Kaylee Wallace didn't participate in the doubles competition, so that's why I wasn't looking for her name, but Tessa Wallace is the one who's playing on court 1 right now. That might have been Kaylee Wallace who was playing before on court 2. Or I could be completely wrong, and, that's happened. Let's move over to court 4 and check in on the action there in their singles match. So court 4, that's Holly Byrne for West Aurora. She's serving from the far side there. So Holly Byrne on court 4 right now. And we'll do a rundown for the West Aurora faithful. In court 3 for West Aurora, this is Aaliyah Gonzalez. In court 2 on the far side, I believe that's Sammy Einseidel. So Sammy Einseidel on the far side in court 2. Tessa Wallace in court 1. Aaliyah Gonzalez in court 3. And then on court 4, Holly Byrne. So those are your West Aurora players out on the courts right now for singles competition. So let's go over to court 2 and check in on Sammy Einseidel. Yeah, now that I've discovered they have names on the back of their shirts, that's key. I don't see that for Geneva. Of course, they have like a dark blue. If they did have it, it's not on there, but that's okay. Again, the Geneva faithful know who's who. And it looks like the set is over on court 2. I believe they're moving into set 2 now. I believe. I've been wrong before. I think she's waiting for coach to come over they have a confab between sets. I don't know if that's mandatory, if it's just kind of out of habit. They want to have a powwow before they commence the next set. Talk strategy, things that the coach was observing from that competition. So both coaches talking to their players on court 2. Coach Reimers doing that right now with Sammy Einseidel. And Coach Diana Newkirch chatting it over with her player on court 2 before they resume their match. Nope. Let's move over to court 3. Again, court 3, that's Aaliyah Gonzalez for West Aurora. As on those deep shots, I'll zoom out just a little bit so you can catch a little bit more from that side. As the railing kind of impedes your view a little bit. That one just goes out of bounds, so Gonzalez will continue to serve. I believe this is set 1 for these two opponents over on court 3. Rally here. And that one goes out wide by Geneva, so Gonzalez gains the point again and maintains serve. And again, another shot out, this time on the left side. So Gonzalez maintains serve. Shot into the net, so Aaliyah Gonzalez racking up the points here on her current serve sequence. That time she's unable to corral that one. That'll go point to Geneva. And the Vikings will serve. Deep serve, the back end, deep return. And then another deep return. And a point for Gonzalez. Well placed there by Gonzalez. 2 deep returns. Second one coming on the volley return, and that one did not go out. So another point for Gonzalez, that time into the net. Point for Geneva. I think what we'll do is I'll stay for an end of each set for the courts that we're playing, and then I'll move over to another court. Looks like on court 4, Holly Byrne has resumed play against her Geneva opponent, and I believe they're now in set 2 in their singles match. That one into the net by Geneva. And Aaliyah Gonzalez will continue to serve here on court 3. That one drops just over. Nice finesse touch there by Gonzalez. She's having a good run of it in this match, in this current set. And another shot into the net by Geneva. Geneva player getting a little bit frustrated. And that one serve goes out. So now Geneva on the serve. Deep serve. Line drive return, and trying for the touch shot was Gonzalez, but she was unable to make connection. Point for Geneva. And that one went out on the serve, so point to Gonzalez, and she'll serve. And that one just out along the left line. That was close. And the Geneva player there almost returned it, but then kind of ducked underneath that as that one whistled over the back line. Point for the Vikings. Now Gonzalez, another deep shot, too strong. So now the Vikings player picking up some momentum in this set. And it looks like a little disagreement over the serve location. They got that quickly resolved. Little touch shot there and a point for Geneva. So again, Geneva getting back into the set against Gonzalez. Fans on that one. That one pushed over the back line. Another point for Geneva. So this particular set, this has been a roller coaster here. It was a dominant run by Gonzalez for a long stretch there. Then Geneva put together a string of points to get back in this one. And we'll see how this set concludes. That one goes out over the back line. And that one in for a point for Gonzalez. So now she's finally able to break serve. But her return goes into the net, point for Geneva. Deep serve, deep return, kept in play, and that's going to go short of the net. Gonzalez gets the point, takes the serve. And Gonzalez unable to corral that one. Point for Geneva. Over the back line, another point for Geneva. And it looks like Geneva wins that set over on court 3. So it looked like Gonzalez was off and running, but then she ran into a dry spell, and Geneva comes back to win that set as they change sides. We're going to move over now to court 2 and check in on the action there. And we'll stay with court 2 now. Again, that's Sammy Einseidel for West Aurora taking on her opponent for the Vikings. And, of course, it's the end of the set there, too. So I believe that match might be over. I believe Geneva won that match. So Sammy Einseidel, I believe, is done. Take a look at Coach on the side there, along with her player, Sammy Einseidel, who just finished her singles match. And now we'll go back to court 1. And again, court 1. That's Tessa Wallace in court 1. Holly Byrne in court 4. Aaliyah Gonzalez in court 3. And then getting ready to start in court 2. Well, I won't be able to tell you because her back's facing the other way. So we'll see. Wallace thought that one was going to go out, but it dropped in. Point for Geneva. And Wallace gets the point back for West Aurora. Can't read lips. I know she said the score, but I don't know what it was. That one goes out on the far side. Wallace will serve again. And again, Wallace with the point. Court 2 for West Aurora. That's going to be Giselle Coral. So she's on the far side in her match against Geneva. And we'll stay with Tessa Wallace's match over on Court 1 until that set completes. And then we'll move over to Court 2 and check in on Giselle Coral. Wallace with the deep serve. And a little drop shot in there for the point. So again, the strategy, get your player deep and then drop it short, get your player moving back and forth. And another point for Wallace as she continues to serve over on Court 1. And again, self-regulating where they're serving from. And that one stayed out. I'm not sure if she said 20-7. That one goes out, so that's a point for Geneva. Now the Vikings will serve over in Court 1. Good drop shot there by the Vikings to gain the point. They'll continue to serve. Wallace ready for a receive. Drop. And that one too strong for Wallace to handle, Tessa Wallace. So another point for Geneva. And Geneva player unable to corral that one. That happens a lot. Try and time up your shot. Wallace regains the serve. That one just in. And that's the end of the set. Point for Geneva. And that might be a match victory for Geneva against Wallace over on Court 1. So now we'll move over to Court 2 and check in on the action with Giselle Coral in her match, her singles match here on Court 2. This is, I believe this is set 1 in their match. Now they're just getting, I believe either they're getting the score or the serve box clarified. Yeah, no, they're getting the serve box clarified here because she was pointing to the other box. So there's a little disagreement over which box they're supposed to be in right now. So they're at a standstill. Someone has to relent here. So, all right. So it looks like they finally decided where the serve is going to come from. Thought we were going to have to go to commercial break for a moment there, which would be bad because we don't have any commercials to play. So play resumes. Nice high return by Geneva. And Coral's return shot goes out of bounds on the near side. A point for Geneva. Drop shot short of net, point Geneva. Well, Giselle Coral trying to get herself right as that shot goes out. Short serve. Underhand return. And just drops that one in. Does Coral for the point. She'll maintain serve. Now Giselle Coral wearing a mask, so unable to determine what she's saying in terms of set score when she serves. And since she's the only player facing me, I can't see the Geneva player when she's serving what the score is. So we'll just find out. When the set ends, you'll know. Actually, that's the same situation over on court 3. As that one drops in, point for Geneva on Aaliyah Gonzalez's match. She's over on the far side now. And Giselle Coral, perfect drop shot there by Geneva, just over the net. And Coral had to avoid crashing into the net there and wasn't able to return the shot. And that time, Geneva unable to return on that possession, so Coral will now take over serve. Short serve there and point for Coral. And a long return. And another point for Giselle Coral here as she maintains serve. Into the net, another point for Coral. So just like tennis, just like volleyball, these sets and matches go in streaks, and what looked like Geneva had a streak going. Giselle Coral had been able to carve out some points in a row, and now she'll be on the defensive as Geneva gains a point off the serve. Deep serve, deep return. Oh, well-placed shot by Geneva. That wasn't an easy return. She had to stretch out to the left sideline, and she was able to make a nice backhand drop return just over the net for a point. And it looks like the match with Aaliyah Gonzalez has ended over on court 3, and I believe Geneva won that match. 2-0. And not sure if this is the final pairing. It's kind of feeling that way. This is the only match going on right now is the match with Giselle Coral and her opponent from the Vikings. I don't see any other players lining up to come on the court, so I don't know if we've gone through the 9 other singles matches. And this is just the remaining one for 10. Very well could be. Volley there. Point goes to Coral and the Blackhawks. And looks like point and set win for the Blackhawks. And Coral So I believe that's set one, and now they're getting ready to switch sides. Coach Diana Newkirk coming over, talking to her player. And Lauren Reimer's coming over to talk to Giselle Coral, who appears to be the remaining singles player out on the court. So she's going to get all the TV time. That's how this works. You wait until you're the last match standing, and these two players will get all the screen time. So I don't know if they both planned it that way, but that's how it's working out. Over on the far side, there's one JV match still going on from a single standpoint. So only two matches active. One JV match on the far side and then one singles match here on the near side in court 2 with Giselle Coral. We'll take a peek over on the far side with the JV match. JV some love here. Well, as we wait for the second set to start on court 2. And that's coming up right now. So we'll pull away. We'll get ready for the next set. I think West Aurora leading this match on court 2, singles match 1-0 with Giselle Coral and her opponent from Geneva. Again, I don't have the pairings from the Geneva side, so I don't have the players' names. I apologize. It's our first badminton broadcast, and if we do another one this season, we'll effort to make sure that we have the players on both sides so we know who they're paired with. Actually, let me check this out here. I may have this information. I believe Coach all right. So for singles, Giselle Coral, this might be Taylor Smith for Geneva. Might be. Don't give me 100% on that, but I think she's listed in the 10 spot for singles from what Coach Newkirk had provided yesterday. And Giselle Coral is in the 10 spot for singles for West Aurora. So it only took me to the end of the match to kind of figure that out, folks. That's okay. Again, they're the 10th and final singles match, so they're going to get all the screen time because it's all about them now. There's no one else on the court on the varsity side to contend with, so they're going to get all the screen time. Now there's some confusion over where they're serving from. Drop by Taylor Smith there. As Coral was unable to return that one. There's also a Riley Smith, but in the 10 spot is Taylor Smith. So I'm going with that's Taylor Smith for Geneva. And if it isn't, I apologize. Taylor Smith in blue on the far side. Giselle Coral on the near side. I believe Coral is up 1-0 in this singles match. Another nice drop shot there by Coral. Gains the point. No pressure on this match here as all the other Geneva players are looking on from the edge of court 3. Trying to will the match into completion, but the match is going to do what it do. So it's going to go at its own pace here as Giselle Coral continues to serve against Taylor Smith for Geneva. Another attempt that time, though, it was short of the, or it was not in the right receiving box, so that was a point for Geneva. And then another shot into the net there by Coral, so another point for Taylor Smith. Deep serve by Smith. Deep return by Coral. And that time she gets it on the line. I guess they're going to call it out. And that one stays in. So point for Coral as that one just inside the back line. Point and return to serve for Giselle Coral. Deep serve. As Taylor Smith fans on the smash attempt. Coral continues to serve. That time she gets it down, I believe. And yes, that is point for the Vikings. Could not hear what Taylor said for the score as she hits that one into the net. Giselle Coral to serve. That one into the net by Smith. Coral maintains serve. That one, Smith just flubbed on and down on her own side of the fence. And another one, not a clean return there by Taylor Smith. As Giselle Coral definitely ahead in this set, up 1-0 in the match. And it looks to be looking to close things out here in set 2. Don't know what the score is, though. I just know that Coral is leading. That return goes out on the far side. Then they'll get the side straightened out for service. Coral serves. That one stays in, point for Geneva. So Taylor Smith regains serve. Deep serve. Deep return by Coral. And then Coral unable to get the return on that one. Another point for Geneva and Taylor Smith. Now Smith short serve. Deep return that goes over the back line. Point for the Vikings. So now 3 in a row for Taylor Smith. Drop shot. Deep return over the back line. Another point for Taylor Smith as she's cutting into this deficit against Giselle Coral. That time Smith unable to square that one up, and that'll end the match. Looks like Giselle Coral wins that one 2-0, I believe. Well, maybe not. I thought Giselle won set 1, but now we have the coaching conversations, which leads me to believe we're moving into set 3 now. Yeah, looks like they're going to a third and final set here. They're not switching sides, though, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I thought they should be switching sides if they're changing sets, as they did after the previous set, but so now we're having a confab here as Taylor Smith's talking to Coach Newkirch. Yeah, so they're converting. So they're going to switch sides, and then when they get halfway through to point 11, then they'll switch halfway through. So set 3 underway. We're tied at 1 here in the 10th and final singles match in this badminton meet between the visiting Geneva Vikings and the host West Aurora Blackhawks. Giselle Coral taking on Taylor Smith here in the 10th and final singles match. We're all tied up at 1 set apiece as we move into set 3 play, third and deciding set. Well, you're getting your money's worth, folks. You get what you pay for. And that is free, extra badminton. Tough shot there by Taylor Smith. Looks like that one was in, so nice shot there by Smith to keep it in play. It looks like the shuttlecock has been, they disintegrate over time there, and there's shrapnel they have to pick up and clean off the court. Oh, was that one in? All right, now they're debating whether it was in or not. Coral said she saw it out, and Smith says she called it in, and that's where you don't have an official to be the arbiter there. So it looks like Coral is going to gain the point. And that one drops in the wrong receive box, so point for Geneva. Good placement there by Coral in the far corner. That was a tough return for Smith, unable to get it over. And that one goes over the back line as well. So Giselle Coral pushing through a few more points here. They're in set 3. Deep return. And it was out as Smith swung at it, but it landed out and she didn't make connection. So that's why the point goes to Coral there, although Coral gets the point right back. Well, Giselle Coral and Taylor Smith here in set 3 of the 10th and final singles match of today's badminton meet, with Geneva taking on West Aurora here in the Gordon Kirkman Gymnasium. Coral able to change directions on Smith there and get the point to land on the right side. Our right. Had Smith moving around both ways. All right. We're getting the score confirmed. That point goes to Geneva. That's the other thing, is where they start is based on the score, even and odd for the team that's serving. So I believe it's zeros. If you're 0-0 or even, you serve in the right box. And if it's an odd number, you're in the left box. Point for Coral. Drop shot and point for Coral. Let's pan over. You can see the Geneva team watching on the sidelines there. We'll get them some screen time. And now back to action. Now Geneva on the serve. I think she said 15-10. Well, that can't be right because they haven't changed sides yet. 9-10. So now they're tied up at 10. Here in set 3. And now we have the 11th point, so now they're going to change sides. Or they're supposed to change sides. It's 11-10 Coral. And another point for Coral. Now it's 12-10. Doesn't look like they're supposed to change sides at 11, so I think they just kind of figure that out. So now they're changing halfway through set 3. West Aurora and Giselle Coral leading this match 12-10 in set 3. Obviously, they're tied 1 set apiece. Giselle Coral against Taylor Smith of Geneva here in the 10th and final singles match. Deep return. Nice response there from Coral. Now 13-10 Coral. And Taylor Smith gets the point back, 13-11, and she'll regain service. Deep serve. Unable to make the return was Smith. So now that'll be 14-11 in favor of Coral. And now 15-11 as Smith was unable to make a clean return there. Deep serve. And that return goes out. So it's 15-12, point for the Vikings and Smith. Deep serve by Taylor Smith. And her return by Coral is out again, 15-13 in favor of Coral. Oh, good volley there. That one goes into the net by Smith, so 16-13 point for Coral in West Aurora. And Coral will move to serve. That one stays in. 17-13 in favor of Giselle Coral there as Taylor Smith let that one go, thinking it would go out, but it dropped in front of the back line. 17-13 in favor of Coral. A drop on the serve, and she gets it. Well placed there by Coral, 18-13. She tries another one. Taylor Smith able to make the return there, and then the return from Coral is short of the net. So now it's 18-14, and Taylor Smith will serve. And we're going to look for a new shuttlecock as the current one has outlived its usefulness. It's 18-14. Coach Newkirch giving Taylor Smith the new shuttle. 18-14 in favor of Coral. Into the net by Coral, and it's now 18-15. Taylor Smith trailing by 3 here in set 3. It's over the back line. I don't think she touched that, so another point for Geneva, 18-16. That one out. Now it's 18-17. Smith down by 1. She's on a good run here. Coral looking to regain serve, but that one goes into the net. 18-all. 18-all here in set 3. And another point for Taylor Smith. Now it's 19-18 in favor of Smith and the Vikings here in the third and final set against Giselle Coral. Deep serve, deep return, into the net. Tied at 19, and now Coral regains serve. $19-all. Into the net. So return into the net. It's now 20-19. It's set point here for Coral. Serve on the way, too strong. Over the back line, we're tied at 20. So now we're in the territory where, again, you have to win by 2. We're tied at 20. Deep serve from Smith. Coral with the return. And a good response there by Taylor Smith. Now she's up 21-20. Oh, no. That's not right. It didn't seem right. I thought it was 20-all. Yeah. Yeah, that's not right. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was tied at 20 there, but I must have missed something. I thought it was tied at 20, but Taylor Smith winds up winning 21-19, so she wins set 3, and she wins the match against Giselle Coral 2-1. So I apologize. I thought I was keeping along there, and I thought things were tied up at 20, but that was not the case, and Taylor Smith wins set 3 by the score of 21-19 and wins the match against Giselle Coral 2-1. Well, that'll wrap up our day of badminton coverage here at West Aurora High School here in the Gordon Kirkman Gymnasium. I want to thank both coaches for allowing us to broadcast this match. Between Geneva, the Geneva Vikings, and the West Aurora Blackhawks. Coach Lauren Reimers for the Blackhawks and the West Aurora volleyball team. And Coach Diana Newkirch of the Geneva Vikings badminton team. I want to thank them both for allowing us to broadcast that event. So that'll do it here. Our next event, I believe, is baseball for West Aurora, and I believe it's a baseball doubleheader next Wednesday. So more information to come on our social media pages for Stream Sports Midwest and on Twitter at Stream Sports. So thanks for tuning in to our first broadcast for West Aurora Athletics. The badminton match here between the Geneva High School Vikings and the West Aurora High School Blackhawks. This is Eric Willowite saying so long, and we'll see you next time on the West Aurora Broadcast Network, powered by Stream Sports Midwest.